Good evening, everybody. So, on the eve of a Halloween weekend ahead of us, a couple days out, we've got a lot of new stuff to talk about. I know tonight is kind of a weird night. We're going to try out Wednesdays instead of Sundays this week, so we've got kind of a double episode this week. Luckily, there's lots of stuff to talk about, so we'll have no shortage of news and information and stuff to talk about. So let's get started with who's in the chat here. We got Sat Stacker, also known as Human. I don't know if he prefers Human or Sat Stacker, but I know him as both. Pinball Wizards here. Good evening, everybody. Welcome. Good to have you. Chalatalove Gaming. We're going to shout out Chalatalove here just in a quick second as well. Skull Joe, good evening, guys. So, and seven total people in the chat. So awesome. Getting started in a hurry. So, conversations this week. Boy, we've had a lot of new news. Obviously, we got 2 Elvira tables this week. We got a patch for Magic Castle Deluxe. We're going to go over all of that. We're going to start, however, with some of the new pinball stuff that we've seen from the real pinball world. So let's get that stuff out of the way. There's not a ton of news about that, so I thought that I would start with that first. So let's get started with that. The big news today, the first that I had seen of it, is probably not the biggest news, quite frankly. Kind of disappointing in many ways. We talked about Beetlejuice the other day, but this was the news today. And I know Blaze put this in my Discord channel, and I was able to pick it up and realize that we're going to be getting The Walking Dead remastered for Stern. Which, okay, right? Is anybody excited for this? I don't know that I am. It's been kind of a strange set of games, really, from Stern as of late. Obviously, we had King Kong, which I think was very well received. Star Wars, I don't think was received near as well as I think they anticipated. So that was one that, as good as the game is, and as much as I like it as a standard fan, and a board game, I think it's a really good game, but I don't think that was really well received. So, I don't know. Stern, going into Pinball Expo, I was really concerned. I thought Stern might drop something else. I thought maybe this would drop, something at the show, because they had already dropped Star Wars prior to that. So we knew really what was going on there. Kind of interesting to see this. I don't know that a lot of people are super excited for this one. I seen Loser Kid podcast drop a note on it, and they're like, ooh, boy, this is not really what we expected. Beetlejuice, everybody kind of knew going in. I think people are a lot more excited for Beetlejuice from Spooky than they are for Walking Dead Remastered from Stern. So there's that going on. And then the next thing, the rumor is that maybe Pokemon would be the next one from Stern. Now, does that pique your interest a little more? Most of us who played Pokemon on the Game Boy back in the day are roughly in my age, in the mid-40s. And they've played some of that stuff. So no interest in the remastered Walking Dead. CP Dubs, this is what I'm talking about, man. I don't know that a lot of people are. It's crazy, man. The Major is here. Yes, P Dubs is here. That's always a good thing to have him in the show. Supporting digital pinball to the masses. That's always a good thing. So, yeah, that was real pins are kind of in a weird place right now. When you went to I went to the Chicago Pinball Expo. One of the biggest things that I didn't expect is that Barrels of Fun of all companies would have the star of the show. Obviously, they dropped Winchester Mystery House just a couple days before the show, and it ran away. There were lines at that thing the entire time. You had Predator. People weren't exactly blown away with Predator either, I didn't think. I thought that was pretty interesting. I don't know. It's really interesting to see. I think Stern really needs to have a heavy hitter. Like I said, the rumor is Pokemon, of all things. So does Pokemon do it for you guys? I mean, I'm curious about that. I should be that demographic, but I was not a huge Pokemon fan. I still am not. My son is actually a bigger Pokemon fan than I am. He started playing them on the DS and then actually went backwards to the Game Boy ones and then kind of grew up with it as he's gone. So, oh, look at you, man. Biggie D. Are you serious? Is that a super chat? I didn't think that. Holy crap, man. you're right. I did monetize at 500 subs. I didn't think that would happen, but awesome, Biggie. Thank you so much, man. That is awesome, man. That's so cool. Didn't think that would happen. I didn't know if it could happen, honestly. I didn't actually expect for that, so I appreciate that. Man, oh man, that's just crazy. Dennis M, you love Pokemon. Okay, so maybe there is some love for that. I will say there is some Pokemon options out there if you've never seen them. There are Pokemon games out there. There is one actually in Homebrew, in the Homebrew community, which we talked about. I don't know that we talked about it a whole lot in this community necessarily, but it was kind of funny that I brought it up today, and I'll show you this. This is the Pokemon that I think is going to be coming to Stern quickly. So this is Pokemon Red and Blue Pinball. If anybody wants this on Stern, let me know. This is the one that we would want. Obviously, this is not the one, but this is the Pokemon Pinball that I knew of. So that was big news to me. Then if you go a little bit further along, you could say, okay, well, now we're talking about the Homebrew, right? The Homebrew is this guy here. So this one is pretty cool. This one is at the Pinball Expo, and it is super in-depth. It's really cool. It's even got like the kind of like a game, like a faux Game Boy off to the right here, and it's kind of got its thing going on. Anyway, Team Rocket up in the upper left-hand corner. It's a pretty cool table. Plays really good. This was actually right next to Sonic the Hedgehog, which I think would be an excellent IP if they were ever to bring that. So, just sold 3,000 in Pokemon cards. Man, good for you, Dennis. My son is doing the same thing. He was selling Magic cards, he's selling Pokemon cards, and it's becoming a thing. Like, it's really becoming a thing. People are starting to clear out their collections of stuff, and it's really interesting to see. Pokemon is very popular. Maybe it'll get some kids into pinball. I mean, that's really what we're talking about, right? We want to get the kids into pinball. One other thing, or one other game that I've seen that I think really needs to come, honestly. And this is so grainy, I'm curious how I'm even going to show this. But does anybody recall what this is? Does anybody know by looking at this? Can they tell? It's pretty grainy. Oh, come on, Dark Death Rider. You guys this is awesome, man. Let's celebrate the third Super on a live stream. That's incredible, man. Thank you so much, man. Guys, that's ridiculous. I appreciate it. Like I said, this channel has kind of been a labor of love, a passion, if you will, of mine since last October. And the growth has just been crazy. Mostly in the last couple of months, leading up to the Pinball Expo, and then, of course, since the Expo. In the last 28 days, it says that I've acquired 108 subscribers. So, you guys, if you're new here, I want you to know that I appreciate you, and I hope that I've gained your trust and that I can continue to have that. So, yes, Metroid. Yes, this is from Metroid Pinball from the original DS, which was an absolutely awesome game. As I recall, I think this had 3 different tables, and you could kind of alter between the 2, and you actually got a spot where you actually had to swing the flippers to shoot the incoming bugs and things like that, space pirates. There's actually a laser tether between the 2 flippers, which I think would be really cool in a digital pinball game. That would be fantastic. So you rock. Thank you, Dark Death Rider. I appreciate you, man. It's incredible, guys. I really appreciate that. I'm gonna have to process what that really means to me, quite frankly, because this channel is not something I ever expected to make any money on or anything like that. It's just something I've fallen in love with and I love. So, pinball's it, man. It's the thing. Oh dang! I thought At Games had got the rights to one. No, I wish. I wish. So, let's start off with that. So, there's one thing I did want to do tonight that I don't think that we've given enough appreciation for. And you guys might be shut down immediately. Oh, here, we'll close that. We don't need that. But we do need to talk a little bit about, let's praise a little bit of what At Games has been doing. as you know, they've gotten a lot of slack over the last month, 6 weeks, 2 months probably. But let's go back and actually review what they've actually given us during that time. I think there's some really key elements to think about. Let's jump over to this location here. So in the last couple of months now, we have gotten Honor of Legacy. Okay, that was a combination of games that included Samurai's Vengeance and Vern's Mystery Island. We have gotten a whole ton of games, quite frankly. We got this actual absolute barn burner. We got Baby Shark, which is one of the three original At Games originals that we've gotten this year. We've also got Wildlands. Firefighter Wildlands was a big one. These games we did not see coming that have been really, really good. Especially Wildlands. I think people have really super appreciated this one. Next up, we have TMNT, which comes out on Saturday. As you know, I've played it. I love it. I'm really super excited for that one. I really hope you guys like it as much as I did. It's been a fantastic game. Yes, it's still Magic Pixel, but the fact that we are still getting new IPs has been something that has been really, really hard for the community, quite frankly. So let's go here. We got our Elvira games. We've got Elvira Party Monsters. We just got Scared Stiffed. Those are two amazing titles. Obviously, they're $15. We were concerned about the pricing, and we'll talk about the pricing a little bit too. But let's not get lost in the weeds here. And then we also got Volume Pack 4, which was Hurricane, Roadshow, and Whitewater. Some more classic games. We got Pack 6, which was Funhouse, Dr. Dude, and Space Station. We got Whodunit, Pinbot, and Taxi. I mean, this is a crap ton of games that we have gotten for this system, and I don't know that we've really appreciated that maybe near enough. Obviously, the firmware issue was a big problem. I think we knew really since all the way back in January that it was going to be a problem at some point. I think there was some real concern there. Whoops, wrong one there. I think there was some real concern there at the time whether or not those their firmware could support the new games coming out. And when they actually made the shift, like a couple months ago, all hell broke loose. But solenoids are working now if you want them. I don't use them, but they're using them. I do hear some reports still that Gottlieb tables do not have sound. Most of people have been restored, but there are still some people that do not have it. So really a shame. Yep, one broken game in that pack. Yeah, Samurai's Vengeance does have a bug that does need to be fixed. And there's a couple of those. We had the problem with Magic Castle Deluxe, which, to their credit, they said they'd patch pretty quickly the same day. They were like, yeah, we'll patch it. But they had to be honest about themselves, I think. They knew right then and there that they couldn't come out quickly because they had firmware issues. And they weren't... who was going to drop firmware fixes for an initial game that needed to be patched? Yes, it was kind of a problem. Magic Castle, sadly, I think sales-wise probably got hurt quite a bit about that. But to play it now, Magic Castle's a pretty darn good game. So, at any rate, good old Magic Castle. We'll jump over to it real quick here. So Magic Castle did in fact come out. We did get it fixed. The dragon actually eats the ball like it's supposed to. Those are all good things. You bought Wildlands, but that was... Wildlands is good. Stargod is very good. Magic Castle Deluxe is very good. Really, even the Pinball Wizard really likes Magic Castle Deluxe. I thought it was okay. It's good, not great, but good. I think I gave it a 7. Stargod Deluxe I actually love. The modes are really important in that one, and they actually can be really, really good. When will we see Circus Voltaire? Thank you for doing that. That is a good question. So one of the things that I wanted to talk about is the games that we do not have yet. And we're going to continue to praise a little bit of At Games on this one. One thing we did ask about for Flipper Friends. We asked that, Gottlieb games either be fixed or removed from Flipper Friends. They have done that. It's okay. This week, however, we did see that Haunted House is coming out for the Halloween tournament. So we'll see how that goes. We asked that they bring more remakes to Flipper Friends. They've done that. Clown 2017 remake was this last week. So that's interesting. We got new IPs in TMNT, Baby Shark, and Wildlands. And of course, there's 3 more original At Games tables still out there that we know about that have not been announced yet. So when will we get those? Are those going to be by the end of the year? We also know about Granada, Mexico, Tropical, Clown, Time Machine, maybe Viking Deluxe. All of those games could also possibly come out for the 4KP. Probably not before the end of the year. And yes, Star Wars, Dennis, you're absolutely right. Star Wars is the big one. I still think they're going to hold that one off till the spring. I originally thought that it would probably come out in the fall, but everything got continuously pushed back and back and back. So it is what it is. But yeah, Circus Voltaire and Safecracker are the 2 games that we're missing right now due to backglass integration issues. But now, I think first of all, they had to drop Scared Stiff, right? That game was huge. It came out on all 9 platforms. Yes, there was a delay. That was a big hullabaloo. But it did come out. You did see the shift of the playfield, the backglass to the playfield during that time, which is not ideal. But we know what they're going to do now, right? They did the same thing for the South Park games, for South Park Butters. For the chaos mode, they did the same thing for Wild West Rampage with the train sequence. There's no reason that they couldn't do that with Bonsai Run, Safecracker, and Circus Voltaire. So I think they have a method of how they're going to do it now. I'm hoping that those games continue to drop. We're also going to see packs 7 and 8. So 7 and 8 are some big ones as well. We'll jump over to that real quick. I didn't have that one in the hopper to show, but I think I will, just so that we have it for reference. Again, this is an old calendar, but I think it represents really what we're looking at here. So, obviously we got the Tomb Raider games. We did get Pack 4, which was Whitewater Red Show and Hurricane. We did get Tales of Arabian Nights a long time ago. We got No Good Gophers not that terrible long ago. And Circus Voltaire is that big one that we really want to see. There really isn't a lot of backglass integration on that, and honestly, if they didn't do a shift at all, I wouldn't even care. I think that's one where you just literally hit the buttons and the ball just flies to hit the bell. There's really not, you're not playing anything per se. I don't know. That one I'm less worried about. And then, of course, Safecracker, which obviously has the game board that would have to shift onto the playfield. So there's much more integration there, but they have a pathway now. I still think that we're probably going to get Volume 7 here in November, and I think we'll probably get Volume 8 with Black Knight, Earthshaker, and Bonsai Run in December. So that could be another between 6 and 10 games right there, and we're not even talking about the Magic Pixel releases. So we're still looking at a lot of games that came out this year. So very cool to see. Yes, Star Wars is the big one that people are going to complain about. That's the one that people want. I'm a huge Mandalorian fan. When the Mandalorian pinball table comes to the At Games 4KP, I am going to be delighted. It is one of my favorite At Games originals, right there with Tomb Raider, Adventures of Lara, Excalibur, Camp Bloodbrook. There's Princess Bride. Those are kind of like my big 3, big 4 Zen originals that I absolutely have to see. Bro, you have the best channel. Keep it up, man. Thanks, Mark. Mental Arcade. Thank you so much for that, man. I really appreciate it. Dark Death Rider. Hey everybody, don't forget to smack the like for the show. I appreciate that. And remember, this is a new time slot for me. So Wednesday nights, if this is going to work, I need you guys to support it. Otherwise, we'll stay on Sunday nights where things are a little less chaotic. The one thing I will say about Wednesdays is I can call this the center post. I could call it the center post as opposed to the pinball post. Whatever, we could play with the name a little bit. But we would get more pressing news during the week on the Wednesday night. So if that works, that could be an option as well. Also, Bride of Pinball. Yes, that is that's in Pack 7, is it not? I believe so. Yeah, Bride of Pinball, Whirlwind, and I had just seen it. What was the other one? The Swords of Fury, which, I don't know. Swords of Fury is okay. Bride of Pinbot's a big one. I know a lot of people like. It's better than Pinbot, thank God. But Whirlwind, to me, is the big hitter there. I love that game. That one's really fun to me. So, anyway, that's enough praise that we'll put on At Games. But I thought it was really important to talk about the packs that we've got. And then the last thing I guess we didn't talk about at all this time, we talked about it Sunday night, is the HDP. So that is coming to fruition on Saturday. That's going to be releasing along with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, like we talked about. I'm really excited for that. I do have some news about that, though. At Games has contacted me. They are going to send me an HDP for the purpose of review. So I'm super excited to get my hands on that. I was considering buying one anyway, but I didn't have the money, and I already have the micro, and I already have the 4KP, so I was like, I don't really need it. And from what I understand, you're going to have to rebuy HD titles. So, I don't know. That's something I'm really interested to get my hands on. They did change the D-pad, which we talked about on Sunday. That's a big one, a big issue with that. Not an issue. I think it's going to be a good thing, but definitely something to talk about. So, anyway, that was the stuff for that, and we can move on. Camp Bloodbrook is a huge one, Biggie D. I would love to see that game. We do need more Pinball M titles in general. You know, we got Chucky, we got The Thing. In fact, let's talk about that. What a segue. Thank you for that, Biggie D. You're the man. Okay. This one right here came out, like, today. So At Games is doing a 5th annual Halloween pinball tournament. And the games they're going to be showcasing, I don't know if you can read this. We'll go, is it Alt-Z? Yeah, look at that. Look at my computer skills. Anyway, Gottlieb's Haunted House, which we talked about. This is one I'm concerned about scoring. Will the scoring work on this? You'll probably have to delete your scores, upload the whole bit. Zombie, terrible game, but whatever. It's one of the award tables that we got from Zachariah. It's fine. The original Spooky, pretty good game. Pretty cool, actually. We got Williams, Creature from the Black Lagoon, awesome game. Chucky's Pinball, awesome game. Monster Bash, one of the best ever. And then you get the Thing Pinball, which is also fantastic. So, what is that, 7 tables for this particular tournament. There's going to be prizes, 3 winners of a $25 gift card and 5 winners of a $10 gift card. Yes, there's some talk about gift card issues. Not really sure how they were going to redeem those. I think they're going to clarify that pretty quickly in the first part of November. So sit tight with the gift card conversations. Obviously, the HD systems, the current HD systems, HD and Micro, are still going to have to use the online service, the actual website for that. But the HDP and the 4KP are going to be strictly purchased on device. So they're going to be going away from purchases on the website for those 2 devices, simply because they have it on the device anyway, and they want you to do that. So I feel like you were the guy that got At Games to patch Magic Castle. Well, I think we all all contributed to make sure that they got that. The fact that video went up as quick as it did, you guys supported it, it got traction, and they seen it. I think all of that contributes to it. Yeah, I made the video, but that doesn't mean that I made the... I did submit a ticket as well, and I'm sure a lot of you probably did as well. So all those things, this whole channel is a community. It's not about what I do. It's about what you guys do and what you guys contribute, not only to the Discord, but to the channel and to all of it. So through engagement. So it's very huge for all of that. They also dropped their calendars. Yes, you're right. They did drop the calendars. I forgot about that. We asked them to drop the calendars, and they did. So that was huge. It's a little... I think some of us are like, man, I wish I knew when stuff was coming out, but isn't it exciting to know the day of that, hey, a game's coming out, or hey, guess what, tomorrow we're getting 2 games or 3 games? It was a little funny. We got the big delay for Elvira, and then Monday morning, like 9:30, I got the message that hey, Elvira is available. It's live right now. I'm like, what are you kidding? Awesome. So I downloaded it immediately. I run help desk for my company on Monday. So I was able to, by lunchtime, I was able to jump on and actually play the games. I never did a live stream for those, and I apologize for that. I knew Chalatalove would do it on Tuesday anyway. And that's another segue. Oh man, I am segueing the crap out of this stuff tonight. Alright, so this is another thing I wanted to bring up to the channel. We have not talked about creators enough, other than myself. So, Monday night, if you did not watch TomatoGrass's channel, The Wizard Room, so he has a YouTube channel. It's just TomatoGrass Pinball. First of all, look at this. 268 subs. That is unacceptable. We need to get him some more subscribers. He is one of the top players on the entire platform. He hosts this show called The Wizard Room. And the show Monday night was all about VPX, and they did a VPX showdown. It was absolutely awesome. If you go back even a couple of weeks, they did the basically Shark Week. They had Baby Shark, Jaws, and Sea of Thieves that they did some stuff on. They did the Zen Shootout last week where they did some different challenges and different things. Awesome channel. Definitely check this one out if you have not already. They're a couple hours long, but you take three really big players. In this case, it's been Skulljoe, Chalatalove, and TomatoGrass the last few weeks. They've been kind of three amigos. They've been killing it. It's high-end pinball. You get 3 screens, 3 pinball tables on the screen during gameplay, and you're watching them all live. So, awesome channel. Definitely check that out. I cannot talk enough about it because it is super engaging. I check it out every Monday. And then one more shout out, and I know you're in the chat here, Chalatalove, but we gotta shout you out as too, man. Digital pinball is awesome, and this guy does a lot of it. So definitely check him out as well. He's got over 2,000 subscribers. His channel has grown leaps and bounds. It's been fantastic. He does live streams on Tuesdays and Thursdays during lunch period, so about noon Eastern time. So translate that to wherever you are. He does some really good content, and tomorrow he's got basically a Halloween edition coming up using VPX from The Walking Dead, Nightmare on Elm Street, Hellraiser, Vampirella. He just played a bunch of Elvira yesterday. So definitely check that stuff out. If you're at work and you're just sitting there eating your lunch and you're thinking about pinball the way that I do and a lot of us do, well, there you go. More pinball content cannot be a bad thing. So definitely check it out. Be sure to join RTX's Pinball Discord. There's that too. So if you cannot get enough pinball, and if you sleep, you dream, you talk about pinball all the time, there is no better place than jumping in my Discord to do so. I'll put a link to that in the description of this video. Also, in this video, I put a link to TomatoGrass and Chalatalove's channels. So subscribe to those if you want more pinball news for that as well. So, all right. A couple different things that I've seen in the Discord this week that I wanted to showcase real quickly is this here. I thought this was pretty cool. For all of you that have the Snoopy 4KP, Billy Woods Mods put this in my Discord a little bit ago, maybe just a couple hours ago. Somebody on Etsy, this Matthew Cicchetti, I think it is. I believe that's an Italian name. Matthew Cicchetti. I probably butchered that, but either way, these are really cool. Snoopy heads instead of a plunger. I think that's a really cool option, a really cool theme. So if you have a Snoopy pinball machine, you may really want this. I think it's really, really cool. So, alright. Next up. So we've talked a little bit about the patch for... We'll cover this just briefly. Obviously, they came out with the Magic Castle Pass. The patch, this was fixed. I did a review on this just yesterday, day before. Monday, I think I did the review for this. So this is up and completed now. So you can definitely check that out. We also got Elvira. This was, again, we talked about first thing Monday morning. We got Elvira, Party Monsters, and Scared Stiff. So that was awesome. I'm going to blow through some of this stuff because we've already kind of talked about some of this stuff. Next up, let's talk. We're gonna skip that just for a second. Let's talk about the Flipper Friends winners. We're usually really late on these, so I'm gonna show these real briefly. So this is the HD winners for this week. Sadly, I don't know any of these folks. So if you know them, get them in here, get them in the chat, get them in the Discord. Make sure that they are recognized and get them in the community. And then on the HD or on the 4K side, we always know somebody. It seems like every single week we get a couple of people. We got our very own Dennis B. We've got Bally Dern. Arcane, I'm starting to see a lot on leaderboards as well. I talked with him a little bit on Mox's Discord in the 4K section there, so he's there as well. So again, all of our friends and community members all over the place, winning gift cards and all that just by playing in the Flipper Friends tournaments. So that's all really cool. All right, next up, let's talk about something a little more problematic, okay? Pricing. We are seeing a price increase for pinball packs. What is everybody thinking about that? Yeah, wait too fast for you. You aren't lying, man. And no problem for the shout out, Chalatalove. I absolutely have to do it, man. Sorry, joining in late. Retire closing. No gift cards on device. No more Flipper Friend codes, etc. Yes, way too fast for you. He actually won a gift card, a couple weeks ago, I think it was, and he's trying to figure out how to actually spend it because they're kind of in this limbo right now about how to do the gift cards. If you have the opportunity to buy anything right now, definitely do it. I know we were kind of talking about it, what you were looking for and stuff like that. I've had a lot of people reach out to me on YouTube trying to figure out what they can do with those gift cards and how to spend them. I wish I knew exactly how to do that but I already have all the games. I've been buying them up as I have, and so $15 for Elvira, shaking my head. Are you serious, Biggie D? Is that what you're concerned about? Because I don't think that's that big a deal. A $15 price point, I don't think, first of all, the $15 games I do not think are going to go up in price. So maybe you guys don't agree with me on that. I don't think those ones are going to go up in price. I think we're more concerned about the $5 ones. So when you think about Attack from Mars for $5, Monster Bash and Creature from the Black Lagoon came out together for $15. The twin packs, I don't know that they're going to necessarily go up. Even if they went to $20, I don't see that as too much of a problem. I still don't think that they will. I think the $15 twin packs and the $15 high license tables will probably stay the same price. I think the ones that are probably going to be the issue are the $5 games that come out individually. I think those are all going to jump to maybe $9. I don't think they're going to go to $8. I think they're going to go to $9. I think 10 is too much. So I think they'll probably stick at $9, maybe do $15 twin packs still. We'll see. But they did say here on November 14th that we're going to find out for sure. So what that really means, who knows? But Biggie D, you brought up Elvira for $15. I think that's a good price. I will say I love Scared Stiff. $15 for that is an absolute bargain. Party Monsters, I'm not near as enthused about. That one actually hurt a little bit. $15 seems like a lot for that particular game. It's an older game. To me, that's more like a Taxi or a Pinbot. So those are lesser games to me. But anyway, it's a big license. That's the biggest thing, is that license is Elvira, Cassandra Peterson. So Williams tables are underpriced right now. Yeah, Pinball Wizard, you're not wrong, man. They have been underpriced. Really, if we've been buying these games since Pinball FX2 for $5, that's a long time in gaming pricing. We've seen gaming pricing go up considerably, like a lot more across things like the Nintendo Switch, across PlayStation, Xbox. Games have gone from $60 as a standard price all the way up to $80 in many cases, $70 for a lot of games, and even $80 for something like Donkey Kong Bonanza. And actually, Donkey Kong Bonanza was, I think I got it for $90. It was absolutely insane. $15 for both? No, $15 each, Biggie D. So yes, I know it's a lot, but yeah, I totally get it, man. I get sad when a week goes by without a new pinball pack. Do I have issues? No, Mark, you don't have issues. You love pinball just like me. All of us we cannot get enough pinball. We are absolutely in shape. We are in an insatiable community of pinheads, and we can't get enough pinball. I mean, the fact that they just dropped us, what did I say? They've dropped us, 15 games or so in the last couple months, and we're still asking for more. We still want Star Wars. Whatever we don't have, we want, and we want it now. We are that little girl on the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory screaming for a squirrel from their father. So, at any rate, we cannot possibly be extinguished. So we're going to continue to fight and continue to do what we can. Billy Woods Mods, welcome to the chat, man. I did point out your really cool post about the Snoopy plunger heads, so I thought those were really cool. So, pricing packs, yes, this is a concern. There's going to be some people that scoff at it. I think this was a long time coming, guys. Yes, we've had... The one thing that I will say is we do have a little bit of an at-games tax, which has been something that's been kind of annoying. The fact that they're a little more on at-games versus the other consoles, including VR and things like that. VR actually has more features with customizable flippers, customizable ball trails, the ball itself, active back glasses, things like that. But it's all digital. Whereas when you go to the at-games 4KP, you have to think about sound effects, kit integration, and stuff like that. And a lot of times they're upscaling them. A lot of the console games don't necessarily have to be 4K. I think Steam versions do, but not necessarily Switch and stuff that are obviously only 1080p. So one thing I will consider is that, or I do think about, is that the 4KP, while it has 4K resolution, it's basically using the physics from the Switch versions. So if you play the Switch or even VR, the physics for those games are what the conversion ports are coming from. So they're not coming from Steam, which would be a 4K resolution. They're coming from the lesser platform, the older platform of games. I wish I knew exactly what platform. It's not Unity. Unreal Engine 3, I think. I can't remember. If anybody knows offhand, put that in the chat, but I'm not really sure exactly. But it's the older physics engine, so you're converting those. You're not converting Steam and bringing it down and keeping the resolution. You're actually converting it over from a lesser physics engine and upscaling or replacing those assets on a 4K side. So it is what it is, man. Was replacing my exciters expensive? No, I actually requested at Games to give me new exciters because they broke. They sent me a tiny little cardboard box with the exciters in it, literally just the exciters in the cord. I ripped the ones that I had out and I plugged them back in, and I actually did a short on that. So if you've seen it, that's a thing. Veruca Salt, that little girl. Yeah, that's right, Veruca Salt. You got the name. I wish I knew it off the top of my head. I couldn't think of it. $15 is a good price for a table. Is nothing. I want to get out as much use of a $2,000 machine as I can. Not going to buy a car that'll never fill it with gas. It's a good point. And I think let's remember, if you were to go play any of these tables in real life, it's going to cost you, $2 for 3 credits typically right now. Unless you go to a free play arcade where you pay $20 and you can play all day. That's the bargain in real pinball right now, is that you can go to free plays, use the heck out of them, and not have to worry about maintenance issues or any of that stuff. So yeah, pricing to me is, there's going to be people that, we're all kind of collectathons at this point. There's certainly some concern that they're going to continue to go up and continue to go up. We've seen Magic Pixel tables go up a couple of times. Those are the ones that I really don't understand. They've gotten a lot higher in price than the Zen tables, which I didn't think was proportionately accurate when you consider the Zen tables really are Williams recreations and ones that are much better rule sets. They're much better graphically. They're bigger IPs. They're just more complex games, quite frankly. So Magic Pixel, you could take it or leave it. Not everybody likes those games, but you don't have to buy them. I think we're up to, 40 different Zen tables now? Maybe, I think 50 Zen tables or so. Let me get this right. So we have 190-ish Magic Pixel games, and we have 251 games total on the system. So we're talking a little over 50 Zen tables, and I think there's over 30 Williams tables specifically, not including all of your Universal Classics, Universal Movie Classics, Honor and Legacy, all of those. So, at any rate, that's that. So, Leon Spiegel, look at you, man. Ugh, come on, man. You guys. So, a $20 super chat, my guys. Come on, man. Like, Leon, that's... Dude, between Biggie D and Leon and Dark Death Rider, you guys, I really appreciate it, man. I don't know what to say. Like, that's... It's too much. It's too much for what this channel is. I provide you maybe some entertainment, maybe some news. I don't stream enough, I don't think, anymore. But, man, oh, man. You rock, Professor X. I don't know if I have the Professor X thing going on. I got too much hair for that. But man, oh man, that's incredible, man. I can't thank you guys enough. It's not what I expect. 26 or 29 different Williams games. Yeah, I think it's getting up there, man. And they keep continuing to drop. We just got, what, 9? No, we just got 11 in the last month and a half. We just talked about 4, 6, and 9. Packs 4, 6, and 9. And then the 2 Elvira tables. So, yeah, I mean, there's a crap ton of games right there. So, when was I newer to Pinball and I went to install new downloads to my table, I was always thinking the green meant filled up. Now I see that it was the opposite, and I got a ton of storage available. That's awesome, man. And that's Mark's Mental Arcade. Yeah. But I will recommend make sure that you keep the bulk of your tables on your flash drive X. It hasn't been a concern. Well, I take that back. I've seen it as a problem on the 4KP, and I've seen it as a problem on my micro. Both of them seem to pull a tremendous amount of memory from the internal storage. And so if you do not have proper storage on your internal drive, it will start to make games stutter. So make sure that you're doing that. Oh, wait. With Elvira, it's probably 31. Oh, for the additional 2 tables. Yeah. It's crazy to think of, man. It's crazy to think of. When I buy the At Games TMNT HDP, do I have to pay for the OTG feature? I believe you do. Does anybody know? Come, Billy. You guys. Billy Woods, come on, man. You make great content. Glad that we can throw you some cash to support your channel. Dude. You guys. You know, again, this channel is a labor of love. It's not something that I'm doing. Would I love to replace my job with this? Absolutely. But you guys are not going to be able to fund super chats to replace my salary anytime soon. So, the fact that I'm going to actually get to do some reviews specifically for At Games they've never even sent me a code. So the fact that they're sending me a system to review is fantastic. You know, obviously I've done a lot of reviews for their products. I do support them quite a bit. And in turn, you guys have supported me creating that content and creating those streams and creating this community of pinball that loves pinball. I haven't created the community, but I've definitely brought it together in some capacity with the Discord and the different streams that we do. Chalatalove is a big part of that. TomatoGrass is a big part of that. Billy Woods Mods. Dennis B starting to do content. Skulljoe's doing content. Pinball Wizard has even dabbled with some content. Dennis M, I know you've done some streams. Biggie D, you've been doing pinball and arcade stuff forever. I mean, so many of you are content creators as well as enthusiasts. So it goes to speak so much about this actual community. And I spoke about this really, really early on my channel. If you go back to some of my oldest videos, I have a video called At Games, a Community of Friends. I wasn't kidding. And still, here we are today, almost a year to the date, I bet, that I posted that video. I think it was in November-ish. But man, oh man, congrats on the partnership. I don't know if it's a partnership just yet. That's a little shaky. I don't know. I'm kind of surprised. When I realized, when I leaked TMNT at the Pinball Expo, I thought that was going to be it. They're ticked off. They deleted the game, and I'm like, oh crap. But in all, I would have loved to have seen them be at the show like they were the year prior. I actually seen some pictures of the pinball show from 2024, and they had 5 of those Addams Family At Games digital cabinets in a fan layout for people to play. I would love to see that happen in 2026, and I would love to be there and be a part of that. Pushing their system. I would like more people to engage in digital pinball and see that as a learning opportunity and a growth opportunity. Not only that, but also as a way to bridge the gap between digital and physical game sales and users for IFPA and things like that. So huge for sure. You have some Pinball Wizard says he has some VPX content in the works. That's awesome to hear. Love to see that. Billy Woods Mods, every little bit helps, and if we can help you buy a pack or 2 for your review, then I'm happy to do it. No, that's huge, man. I appreciate that. Chalatalove. The other really cool thing is that At Games told you that they are watching you. That is true. That is true. Congratulations, brother. Respect, homie. Yeah, you're actually right. I had got the impression that they had probably seen my stuff by some of the comments and some of the things that they did. But as we laid on some praise today, doesn't it speak to some of the stuff that we did? Did I not ask for Gottlieb games to be removed? We talked about that. We wanted more remakes in Flipper Friends. We've gotten that. We needed Magic Castle to be patched. They responded almost immediately. So, I mean, they've held up their end of the bargain. I know they haven't been perfect. But anytime you're dealing with software and hardware and the integration of all that and the partnership between Magic Pixel and Zen, they've got a lot going on. They're a very small team, and I know that. So, at the very least, they've been transparent. I think they've done a really good job about telling us what they're doing, even if it's been wrong. They can't even get the dates right sometimes. For this last sale, they said that it was the Tuesday the 28th, and it was actually Wednesday the 29th. But just little things. They're a small team. I think they're rushing to get stuff out. They're running around chickens with their heads cut off half the time. But let's be honest. I still to this day think that the At Games 4KP has changed my life. I love this system. There's no question that I wouldn't be have this channel and enjoy it as much as I do without it. So as much as I love the X Arcade and VR pinball, it's just not the same. Being able to stand into a cabinet and play pinball is incredible. So, be right back. Get the little ones in bedtime. Man, Billy Woods, you take the time, all the time you need, man. I totally understand that. So, I'm glad to hear that At Games are sending you something. They never sent me anything. I give them too much crap. I've given them crap too, so that's what I was kind of concerned about that. But I'm not going to change what I do because of getting content. Like I can afford their stuff. Like I'll buy it if it's crap. I'll tell you it's crap. But I'm not gonna say something's great if it isn't. I'm not even a big fan of Party Monsters, and I know a lot of people like that game. It's just not for me, and I'll tell you that. I think the physics are a little too slow on Elvira and Party Monsters, but that's a Zen thing. It's not even an At Games thing. They're not providing those games, so maybe it's hardware related. Who knows? Maybe you can continue to tell At Games what new games we need. For whatever reason, they listen to RTX. They're not listening to me necessarily, but we're all complaining about it, right? We all want Circus Voltaire. We all want Safecracker. I still think those are going to happen. I still think they'll happen before the end of the year. So hopefully that's the case. Maybe they bump Pack 8 or Pack 8 with Black Knight to the next year. If that meant we got Circus Voltaire and Safecracker, I'd be fine with that. Would you? I mean, we're probably going to get Pack 7. We're going to get Sword of Fury, Whirlwind, and Bride of Pinbot likely in November. I could see that. So, Arcade Jam Gaming. Wow, by the way, Scared Stiff sound effects is super loud compared to other games. Wish there was some auto leveling built in on the game machine across the games. You know, I hadn't thought of that. There is definitely some stuff to think about there. I know with the X Arcade system, you actually have toggles. You can change the haptics and the volume separately. I wish that you could do that at games. You kind of can. Like, you could change the haptics and you could change the volume, but it's not quite the same. Like, I can have the I leave my haptics basically on 40 all the time, which is not particularly high. My volume, when I'm playing by myself, could be about 15, and when I'm streaming, it has to be about a 25 or a 30 so that you guys can hear music and sound effects. So I like it pretty quiet. But you're right. There is some stuff there for sure. I'd love to get Cyclone on the 4KP. Yeah, but that's gonna be part of the new tables, right? If I would love to see Cyclone and High Speed and maybe Diner come out as a pack at some point, kind of all in the same era. I could see that, first part of next year. I think they're definitely done this year as far as new Zen tables. I'd be shocked if they released anything new this year. Obviously, we just got Elvira, so we can't complain about that. Definitely more bass. You want more bass, or there is more bass? Because I'm already finding almost too much bass a lot of times. In my streams, I'm really having to be careful. I'm finding I'm getting way too much sound effects kit and not enough music, so I'm going to have to play with the levels a little bit on my streams and my reviews. I'm not hearing enough of the music that I want to hear and I want you guys to hear, so I'm going to have to play around with that for sure. Definitely some stuff for concern there. Okay, lastly, we're going to do one less plug. We're going to talk a little bit about the HDP, which is coming. So I was hoping to get that by this weekend. That's not going to happen. They contacted me and said, hey, they got the HDP release coming this Saturday, and they're scrambling to get that out the door. So obviously, we're going to punt my review and my receiving of that machine to next week at least. They're going to contact me and we'll go from there. So I'm totally cool with that. But let's talk about the turtles themselves. So as we know, Nickelodeon is that partnership for that particular system. But I thought this was interesting. If you look at the different graphics that they have for the turtles over the course of the years, clearly this 1987 version is what we're getting on the HDP. And I thought that was really cool. You look at the very different, almost comic book grunge style of the 2018. And then, of course, 2003, they kind of rebranded and kind of went with a new art style that reflected a little bit of the 2007, but they took out the expression in the eyes. It was I remember there being a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles beat-em-up game on the Game Boy Advance in the 2003 based on that the series, which was really cool. Then you had multiple series of movies where they had the really big bulked up ones that were really awesome. Definitely stuff like that. So Pinball Wizard's like, I do sound effects at 55 normally, and the volume I adjust on the fly, usually between 40 and 60. Wow, that's so loud. I couldn't stand that. That would be too much for me. Maybe you play in the basement. I play in one of our bedrooms upstairs, so which is kind of my office slash studio, if you will. So Mark's Mental Arcade says, Party Zone got annoying how much the top glass shook when the guy would turn his head. Mark, that's one of the things that I've been most happy about with my exciter change. I took the exciters out from how it's connected to the bottom side of the control panel, right beneath your hands? That really thin piece of acrylic is what vibrates. It becomes delaminated from the particle board, and so that piece of acrylic just vibrates, and it shakes the crap out of things. It sounds terrible. Party Zone is the biggest offender. You get that vibrating Captain Bizarre head. That is terrible. Since I've taken my exciters and put them on the inside walls, just in front of the red flippers on the wall, I keep my haptics at 40. I feel it just fine, and there's no vibration because it's not connected to that acrylic anymore. It was a huge thanks to Ray Delatorre. I used to see him in my chat all the time. I have not seen him much. I see him in review comments every now and then. But he made that suggestion, and I thought, I gotta try this. And I finally said, screw it, I'm gonna do it. My acrylic on the control panel is completely broken. I have little pieces of acrylic. You can see this is a piece of acrylic. There's the sticky tape for the the exciter on the back side of it. I have 2 more pieces of acrylic somewhere. I think I've showed you guys the hole in my control panel, either on Discord or the short, where I actually changed out the exciters. It has made a world of difference. So if you are still having problems with the exciters, or you've broken your control panel either by punching or it's just been vibrating like crazy, twist them off, disconnect them, reconnect them with some 3M tape on the sidewalls just in front and below your red flipper buttons, and it makes a world of difference. I can't recommend it enough. The only thing I did hear is that if you keep your haptics above 60, they will start to rattle off of the walls because of the stickum. They can only handle so much vibration. So if you want lots of vibration on those, you might have to upgrade or find a different solution. But you no longer use them. You no longer use the exciters at all? Did you disconnect them, Billy Woods? Interesting. I had disconnected mine a couple different times, and I really missed them. I honestly really missed them. They, when I reconnected them, I was right about the time I was doing streams for Totan, Tales of Arabian Nights, which is one of my favorite games. And I was like, man, I don't get any feedback. And so I reconnected them. They rattled like crazy again, and I'm like, this is terrible. And I disconnected them again a week ago, and then I finally just said, screw it. I'm going to connect them to the sidewalls and hope they work. And lo and behold, they've been fantastic. So Pinball Wizard says, now you can get your control panel addressed with @games. Is that true? I mean, you're saying because I have connections with them? No, I'm not gonna use that for a way. What I originally asked for is I wanted the whole control panel with the D-pad and the exciters already attached. I wanted the whole thing. I was willing to pay for it. And they sent me just the exciters. I was like, oh, so it's not what I wanted, because my acrylic had already broken at that point. So even though I had exciters, I couldn't fix it. It was going to be what it was going to be. The issue is that the acrylic is not glued down all the way around the panel. Yeah, I tried double-sided tape, Billy Woods, and that didn't work either. I tried that as a fix on my daughter's HD, and that wasn't a fix either. That's something I'd probably have to do. I'm going to have to go over to her house, rip off the exciters, put them on the inside again. Yeah, yes, ask them a better way to get replacements, whether you have to pay or not. That's something I will talk to them about at some point. I would like to find, first of all, I know Blaze has talked about it with him too. We need to find a better way. I'll take this off the screen here. They need to be better about doing software patches. So we need tickets that are specifically for software. If you've done a ticket with them, you cannot do a ticket for software-related things, only hardware-related things. So that's problematic. That's got to be fixed. And then, of course, replacement parts. I think they should have a catalog, a bill of materials that you can just pick out, hey, I need this, and this. Give us a list price and kick it out to us. These systems are getting to be pretty old. The 4KP's been around, a couple years? The HD systems have been around 4 years. I think they came out in 2021. So we've all got some pieces and parts that we need fixed. I know we've all gone third party and picked up flipper buttons and exciters and all these different things. Micro switches. There's no reason that they couldn't provide us a couple micro switches here or there, or just like a replacement kit. Maybe an extra 2 buttons and a couple micro switches, maybe some extra flipper buttons, something like that. So definitely something to talk about. Yeah, I do not use them at all. I hate the way they feel and the vibration. Billy Woods, I totally get that. When it's just straight up vibration in your hands, it doesn't feel natural. When it's actual feedback, it feels good. Like to me, when I hit the flippers now, I don't use my solenoids. Now the exciter kind of takes over, and it feels perfect. So something to consider. I really would be happy. Mark's Mental Arcade says, I'll be really happy if my 4K table is still working in 3 years. I must play it at least an hour a day. Yeah, I'm the same way. An hour a day is light for me. If I probably play a couple hours a day. I don't feel like it's that much, but it probably is. It's probably a problem. I got rid of the sympathetic vibrations by putting 2 tiny pieces of foam under the lock bar. I did that too. I do have... if you look at mine, I'm not going to be able to show it here, but there's actually, I do have some, I got some window insulation tape, and the 2-sided tape, and put underneath there all the way, so it's like a big C shape, and it mounts on there, and so that there's no metal to metal contact anymore, and you don't get that vibration, so it does make a big difference. Billy Woods Mods, I used Gorilla Glue all the way around the control panel to lock it down for people that had the issue. That's smart. I mean, if I still had acrylic to do that, I would do that, but now it's completely broken, so there's a gaping hole in my control panel, but just clamped it on all 4 sides. Yeah. So that's a thing for sure. Man. And then lastly, I just want to show this HDP off. We've already been going at this for an hour, so we're going to wrap it up here. I didn't think this show would be that long, but you guys have just blown me away with love and support tonight, with the super chats and stuff. That's just, I still don't know what to do about that. I'm trying to process what that means for me and for the channel. A huge thanks to Billy Woods Mods, Leon, Dark Death Rider, and Biggie D. You guys, like, it's just insane. I don't know what to say other than thank you. I appreciate you. This community has been fantastic. I don't know. You got me. You're not gonna make me cry, damn it. Don't do it. So the HDP, this is at Sam's Club. At Games just posted a few pictures from Sam's Club not too long ago, trying to get the word out. But look at this cabinet. Is this not a beautiful cabinet? I mean, this is fantastic. I mean, I actually love the purple brick. You noticed we did show the 87 version of the Turtles. That looks like what this is from the Nickelodeon channel. I love that Raphael looks kind of like he's kind of revved up and kind of mean here, because he's kind of the grittiest of the bunch, quite frankly. On the side here, you got Michelangelo, a little bit of his personality. He's kind of wide open and just having a good time. Pizza, you got to have pizza on there somewhere. And then if you look at the front of the table, it's actually got Shredder on it, which I think is awesome. I think this other picture shows it. She's in the way. So... But yeah, here's the pricing of it. This is at the Sam's Club, $1,100. You're gonna be able to get this for $900, or $999, so $1,000 at Black Friday. So if you play your cards right, you can get this for under $1,000. I think that would be a fantastic deal. It's a beautiful cabinet. It really is. I love the. I thought it was like a gray powder coat for the side rails and lock bar, but it doesn't appear to be in real life. In the renders, it was more gray than black. I know the back glass screen is a little bit smaller than the 4K one, so that's a little disappointing, but the speaker grills look really cool. I love the shell design on those. That was a perfect design choice. They could have done shurikens, they could have done pizzas, turtle heads, but shells was a perfect choice for that. So the back glass looks really small. Yeah, I know. I'm not sure what to think of that. The DMD looks really big in comparison to this, but in reality, it's the other direction. You have the smaller DMD, or the DMD is the same, and then the back glass is a little bit smaller. The fact that they're not dynamic back glasses, so I guess maybe it's not that big a deal. They're all just static images anyway. So why provide this huge panel that we're not really able to access? So super chats means you've made it. Billy Woods. Maybe I don't even know. I'm gonna have to invest that money back in the channel. Is what I'm gonna have to do. I think I'm gonna have to go figure out what needs to be fixed and replaced for streaming purposes. If there's anything that you guys want to see improved, or particular videos being done, definitely make those priority. Let me know what you want to see from this channel, and I will make it happen. If you want to see more actual mod stuff, I can do that. I'm not a big modder. But if you want to see more videos about any such topic, please let me know. I do want to do some tiers of individual games. So that's what I'm going to be doing at some point. Maybe I do more tutorials. Let me know what you guys want to see. More reviews, more previews, more console-based content, less at games, more real pinball. Let me know what you want to see. It's all up for grabs. Not a fan of the missing weapons. Oh, you know what? I hadn't even noticed that. You were absolutely right, Billy Woods. I did not notice that. I mean, it kind of makes sense, but you're right. I know they show them on the game. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he shows. If you look here, whoa, that's too far. If you look here on the DMD, you'll actually see Raphael has his sai. He's holding it. So it's not like they omitted him completely, but you're right, on the actual pinball cabinet, I did not notice that. So good catch. Really good catch. I mean, it is kids pinball, you're right. Dark Death Rider, that's a good point. Yes, I want to upgrade my HD to the HDP. So that's the biggest concern I have right now. What are you going to do with your HD tables? Because they are not going to translate to this new system. I, for one, would not buy the Zachariah packs all over again. I would buy the deluxe tables, and I would maybe buy the Gottlieb tables again. I wouldn't buy Dr. Seuss tables again. And obviously I would buy Zen tables for this, the HDP as well. I think I would be, if I'm able to get an HDP long term, I think I will be more selective about what games I buy for it. But I will be buying a sound effects kit for it. That would be something I would do. I laugh about this, but if for some reason At Games ends up telling me to keep this darn thing, they've already told me it's a loaner. It's not going to happen. But in the event that they did, they'd make more money off of me because I would be investing so much money back into this thing to be able to play it the way I want. First thing I would do is buy the control panel. I would buy the sound effects kit. I would buy all the games again. So I would be just like all of you guys. So too funny. The legs and lock bars would be sick if they were purple. Purple? Oh man, I don't know if the purple powder coat could be pretty cool. I thought the gray looked really cool, but I'm shocked that they didn't do that, Billy. Pinball Wizard, it's only Zen that doesn't do anything with the back glass. MP and Gottlieb do it. You're right. Yeah, that's a good valid statement. It's a kid's pinball machine, Dark Death Rider. No violence for kiddos. Yeah, and I don't mind that. I guess none of the tables so far have had weapons on them, right? We've had Attack from Mars, Addams Family. What else have we had? Jurassic Park, Star Trek, Peanuts. So yeah, they're all pretty vanilla for the most part. Yeah, no weapons per se, but I that's just I know we've talked about that in the past. Weapons versus sexuality. There's a dichotomy between us and Europe and all that stuff. You know, it's funny that the Elvira tables were AMA with no violence, but then you bring something like, you know, you'll see Postal games on Zachariah Pinball, which may end up coming at some point. Those would definitely be AMA, but we'll see. I don't know what they're gonna do with that, if they ever come over or not. They had the weapons in the cartoons, just saying. You're right. They are ninjas after all, right? I'm going to keep my HD, but I will get this and keep both. Really? Interesting. Dark Death Rider, that's an interesting choice. I assume that's because you want to play the Zen tables on the HDP? You don't have a 4KP then. Then someday buy a 4KP. Wow, okay, so you would want all three of them. I don't know. I don't know that the HDP is really made for people with the HD or the 4KP. If you have the HD, I understand why you would want the HDP because you want the Zen tables. But if you have a 4KP, you don't need this. You may want it. I want it because I want the graphics. I want the artwork. I would want this one so that I could take it to work. Quite frankly, this is the system that I would load up with games. I would take this sucker to work. And it would be part of our office. It would just be something that I would do for our office, I think. I don't know. I really enjoy this thing. So, Pinball Wizard. The cartoons were a long time ago. Many years of big incidents at schools. Things change. Ooh, that's a good point. Good point. Violence in schools has definitely changed the thought process on that, for sure. That's a really good point. Dark Death Rider says it's a marketing strategy to get parents to buy them for Christmas. Well, sure. I mean, yeah, you don't have a 4KP. Yeah, I mean, Turtles is a wonderful IP. I mean, can you imagine if this thing was Baby Shark? That would have been too polarizing, right? People like Baby Shark, but they were not going to buy a system with Baby Shark on it, right? Would they have bought it with Firefighter Wildlands? No, that's a plain old IP, right? That's not particular to anything. Ninja Turtles is the kind of IP that people want. Sea of Thieves was one that people wanted. If it was Killer Instinct or Battletoads, I think that would have sold too. Killer Instinct especially. But sadly, that game wasn't that good. So, Wingo, how you doing, man? Welcome. So, yeah, I mean, the HDP is going to be really polarizing. It's really interesting to see what they do with it. How it sells. I think it's going to sell great, quite frankly. And I cannot wait to get my hands on it. I want to see what's different about this, though. Obviously, you don't have a coin, like you don't have a faux coin door on the front, so that's gone. Not a big loss, quite frankly. I do really like the red inserts on the front of the 4KP, though. That's something I really like. I actually always keep 2 quarters in my pinball machine just for posterity. I don't even know what the word is, but I do that. So we'll see. I want to see. This does not have solenoids, so I'll be curious to see how the exciters are, if the exciters are mounted differently. I am going to take it apart and take a look at different things within the system. So I will look at things, Big D, I will look at things like OTG. I will look at whether or not you have the opportunity to do external applications for all that stuff. I know the VPX team over at Mox's Game Room would have to support this separately than the 4KP. It's a little bit different. So it's still the rock chip, but they would have to figure out how they do it. I can't imagine, code-wise, it's probably not too dissimilar, but there will certainly be some changes in code to make it work. But I think they would probably support it. We'll see. I don't see why they wouldn't. It is 1080p, though, and they've been supporting 4K resolutions to the best of their ability, so I don't know. That is a question for them. So, at any rate, plus, give us the at-games time to make us a Star Wars pinball skin. Dark Death Rider, you know that's coming. You know that's coming. It has to come. The spec sheet said that the solenoids would be an add-on. I did see that, Billy Woods Mods. So, obviously, I got my sound effects kit installed, or pre-installed when I bought it. So the solenoids were already there. If I had the choice to not have solenoids, I don't think I would have got them. Maybe I would have. At the time, I thought they would be really cool. And they've been so loud, I just don't use them. I know Michael B. uses them on stream and stuff like that, and they sound good. When I was at the pinball show, too, when I used them there, they were great because you could feel them. There was a good thud, but it was a very loud environment compared to what I play with at home. So totally different use case for sure. One of the best parts of digital pinball is you could turn the volume down. One thing I do wish we had, and if the HDP could do it, that would be awesome. Bluetooth audio. Give me Bluetooth audio at games. That would be awesome. I know there was plans to do it, but it does not output audio on the 4KP. That would have been fantastic. So, at any rate, I'm talked out, folks. I am blown away with the support and love that I've gotten tonight. It's really Sunday night and tonight. I'm going to have to process whether or not this show is going to continue on a Sunday night or a Wednesday night. Please let me know in the comments what you guys prefer. I know my poll that I put for on YouTube said that 60% of the 33 votes or so suggested that they liked Wednesday better. So if that's what it needs to be, and I'm totally fine with doing that. Whatever works for you guys. Pinball Wizard, if you have an entire arcade room full of games and music and noise, then sure, I'd turn the solenoid on, but otherwise I'd keep them off. I love my solenoids. I did the Cleveland software solenoids for my HD. Are those quieter? Thank you, and great informative stream. Thank you so much, Dark Death Rider, and I appreciate you, and I appreciate the super chats, guys. That was fantastic. Yeah, so we're wrapping up here. It is going to be interesting to see what goes on with this. I would like to see how that works, with the solenoids being separate than the sound effects kit. I thought they would be together. It sounds like they might be separate. maybe a modular option of some sort, or a chip or a board. All that stuff I'm hoping to figure out when I get the HDP for review. And I will let you guys know. There'll be a lot of content coming out with this thing. I'm going to be playing it. I'm going to put it side by side with the 4KP. I will do comparison shots, live camera shots on both. Maybe have my stepson play one and I play the other. We'll figure it out. We're going to make it all happen. So they are quieter and they're mounted on the floor. See, that's smart. Billy Woods. See, if you want modding information, you go to Billy Woods Mods channel. He knows his stuff. I don't know any of that stuff. Be sure to hit the like and thumbs up on the way out. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Again, this channel has had significant growth in the last couple months, and I've just been blown away with the love and support from you guys. I appreciate it so much. I'm going to continue my best to do the best content that I can, keep you up to date on the news in the real and digital pinball world, and continue to support digital pinball as a whole. We want to bring in more fans, females, obviously, kids, huge. The future generation of pinball is determined on whether or not they can continue to support it. And digital pinball is a very good way to get them involved in pinball early and get them to support physical pinball machines as well. So we want to keep that going. We want to keep pinball strong for generations to come. Very, very important. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for coming. As always, we always say it. What am I going to say? Does anybody know? You only need one ball for greatness. Keep plunging. We'll see you on leaderboards, and we'll talk to you again real soon. We'll see. Maybe we get another drop or release or something this week. We'll see. If you need more pinball information, you've seen that there's going to be a couple different links in the stream, in the channel, and then of course my Discord is always available if you need more pinball. Okay, guys? Thank you so much, and we will see you next time. Retro Tech.